Sydney FC are cruising through to the semi-finals after a very impressive 4-0 win against Macarthur FC in the A-League Men's Elimination Finals. Hey guys, my name's Lockie, this is Coswood Football. Feel free to drop your thoughts on this matchup in the comments section. Let's start the conversation. Sky Blues, though, weren't they impressive in this game? Macarthur just simply didn't have an answer. Even prior to the red card. And look, the early goal set the tone for them. Robert Mack, 8th minute. And what a match it was for Robert Mack, who scored a really nicely taken goal, but really poor defensive effort from Macarthur. The way that they were backing off, Tommy Smith was cocked, just allowing him far too much space. Robbie Mack just waltzing into the box and then shifting around to the left and placing it past Curto, a nicely taken goal. And like I said, that sort of set the tone, I think, for Sydney FC in this game. And then shortly after, Keely Adamson, 27th minute, sent from the field after a VAR review. And of course, we got that live VAR review where the referee announced his decision and reasoning over the loudspeakers and on the broadcast, which was cool to have. Keely Adamson, I think, rightly sent off. Wasn't a penalty, of course, and which I think was the correct decision. The foul did happen outside the box. But certainly, obviously, was the last man, and it was heavy contact into the back of Courtney Perkins. And that really did affect things for Macarthur FC. And they ended up running away with it in the end, Sydney FC. But before we talk about that second half performance as well, I mean, it was really interesting to see what Sydney FC did in this game. Ryan Grant and Joel King, two sort of fullbacks, I guess, were more accustomed to seeing sort of, bombing on up the wings. Different system this time around, sort of more so tucking into the central areas with Luke Bratton dropping deep and almost sort of tucking in as makeshift central midfielders alongside Luke Bratton. Courtney Perkins, I was surprised to see him playing a real advanced role in this game. He was getting right up the left wing there, with Mac playing sort of a central role, and Holman and Caceres sort of playing as two attacking midfielders. There was a lot of fluidity and nice rotation and movement from this Sydney formation throughout this game. Macarthur, the red card just derailed their setup. I mean, it's such that front two of Germain and Davila is so key to their success, and having those wide players there. Without that sort of system, they didn't look like getting forward at all. It was a shame to watch too, because we know that Macarthur on their day are a really dangerous side, especially on the counter attack. But for that first half, Raphael had to drop back at right back. Davila had to play in a wide position. They were just on the back foot from that red card onwards. And that second half, man, Sydney just ran away with it in the end. Joe Lolly, though, scoring, for me, what I think is the goal of the season. I don't know if I don't have to go back and watch some of the other fantastic goals we've seen this year, but that was an unbelievable strike. A cracking effort from long range, off the post, into the goal. Philip Curto, it was unbelievable. Philip Curto is one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and he didn't even dive for it. If you watch the replays, it was almost like Curto was confident that he was going wide, and then he sort of looks at the ball bounce in, and he's like, it's just stunned. It's like, why did you not just dive for that? Incredible goal from Joe Lolly. Really nicely taken strike from substitute Jaden Kaczarski, scoring another goal for Sydney this season. And Mac finishing off with number 4 after a delightful assist from Max Burgess. 4 goals for Sydney. That's 11 in their last 2 games. They are heading into the semi-finals now, high on confidence that they can get through to the grand final. And it's really interesting too, because they're coming up against either Wellington or Mariners, and those are 2 teams that Sydney have defeated this season. They defeated Wellington at home, lost to them away, and then Mariners. They defeated Mariners both home and away this season. You look at the statistics as well here, and again, it's just domination from Sydney. Again, so many shots on target. We were thinking back to the final game of the regular season last week against Perth Glory. They registered a record number of shots on target. Possession dominant as well. Even the corners, 7-0 for Sydney FC. The Bulls just with 2 shots on target. There were a couple sort of dramatic moments for the Bulls. Jermaine had a great chance in the first half, and then there was a clearance off the line, really nice clearance off the line from Rodwell. So Macarthur did come close on a couple moments. But you had the sense, especially even from like the hour mark onwards, after like that second goal, maybe it was just cruise control there for Sydney FC, and it easily could have been more. It could have been 5 or 6. And Macarthur, who managed to keep clean sheets twice against Sydney in the regular season, just unfortunately for them falling apart at the end, and they might look to that red card. And I mean, I don't want to say that completely ruined things for them, but as I mentioned there with my reasoning, I think it really affected this match for them, which is a shame. It really is a shame. Like, from a neutral point of view, it's interesting to think what would have happened if Adamson wasn't sent off, and would the game have looked any different? I still think Sydney probably would have run away with it. They did already have a 1-goal lead at that stage as well. So Sydney FC, can anyone stop them from here? I mean, it's a tough test when you're coming up against either Wellington or Mariners, but again, they'll be remembering the fact that they've beaten them earlier this season, and it's going to be fascinating to see who it is they match up against in the semi-finals. They get to host the first leg and then away for the second leg. But Sydney FC, a team we really got to watch out for, I think, in this final series. Drop your thoughts on this contest in the comments section. Start the discussion and jump into the comments there. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. As always, my name's Lockie. This is Coastal Football, and I'll catch you in the next one.